Chosen one, close your eyes for just 1 second and then open them. Look at what's in front of you right now. Something is different, and you already know it. That shift in your vision this week, the way light seems to catch differently, the way certain faces feel almost transparent to you now, the way you'll be in the middle of a conversation and suddenly feel like you can see past the words someone is speaking directly into what they actually mean, that is not your imagination. That is not fatigue. That is not a coincidence. The enemy is working overtime right now for one reason, and one reason only. He knows your perception has changed. He knows that once your eyes fully open, his camouflage becomes useless. He knows that a chosen one who can finally see is a chosen one he can no longer deceive. It all ends this week. The veil, the fog, the spiritual blindness that has kept you circling the same patterns, misreading the same people, missing the same signs. But listen closely, because this is the part that changes everything. It is not ending because of something that is about to happen. It is ending because of something you already did. Think back to that moment this week when you looked at a situation and instead of reacting the way you used to, you paused. You saw through it. Maybe it was a conversation where you recognized the manipulation before it landed. Maybe it was a moment alone where something inside you shifted so quietly you almost missed it. A thought you would have once entertained that you simply let pass without engaging. You didn't know it then, but that moment was the threshold. That was the instant your spiritual sight crossed over into something permanent. You did not find this message by accident. The algorithm did not bring you here. The Holy Spirit did. This is a divine appointment that was written into the fabric of your awakening before you took your first breath. You are not at the beginning of this journey. You are at the crossing point. Stay until the very last word of this message, because in the next few minutes, I am going to show you the 3 stages of final awakening and exactly where you are standing right now. I am going to hand you the spiritual audit that reveals what your changed perception actually means for the next chapter of your life. And at the end, I am going to give you the declaration that seals this new sight permanently so the enemy cannot dim it again. Do not scroll away. Your future self, the one who walks in full discernment, the one who can no longer be deceived by appearances, the one who finally understands why they always felt different, that version of you is waiting on the other side of this message. I know what the last 72 hours have felt like. The world looks the same on the surface, but something underneath it has shifted. It is not dramatic. It is not loud. It is actually the opposite. It is quiet in a way that almost unnerves you, like the volume of ordinary life has been turned down just slightly so you can hear something beneath it. Maybe you caught yourself staring at someone this week and feeling something you could not name, not emotion exactly, more like information, like your eyes were reading something your mind did not have words for yet. Or maybe you have been waking up at 3:00 inches the morning this week, and instead of anxiety, what you felt was alertness, a quiet sense that you were being summoned to pay attention to something. You feel like you are standing between 2 versions of yourself, the one who saw the world as it appeared to be, and the one who is beginning to see it as it actually is. And in that in-between space, the enemy has started whispering a very specific lie. He is telling you that what you are experiencing is instability. He is replaying your history of misreading situations, of trusting the wrong people, of being wrong before. He is using your past to cast doubt on your present discernment. He is whispering that this feeling of seeing differently is just another episode of confusion dressed up in spiritual language. He is telling you not to trust what your eyes are telling you now. But I need you to hear what the scripture actually says about this moment. Matthew 13:16 says, "But blessed are your eyes because they see, and your ears because they hear." Listen to that word. Blessed. Not confused, not deceived, not unstable. Blessed. The shift in your perception is not a symptom of something wrong, it is the signature of something sacred. Jesus was not describing a future promise when he spoke those words. He was describing the condition of those who had crossed a specific threshold of awakening. He was describing you right now. The heaviness you feel is not the weight of confusion. It is the weight of clarity arriving in a body that is still adjusting to carrying it. You are not losing your mind. You are losing your blindness. That moment this week when you paused instead of reacted, when you saw through instead of seeing surface, you thought it was small. You thought maybe it was just a good day, a moment of self-control, nothing significant. But let me reframe your reality right now. That was not a moment of self-control. That was your final awakening activating. That was your eyes changing in real time. And now that they have changed, they cannot go back. You are not starting over. You are not circling again. You are not in a cycle. You are in a conclusion. Some messages don't just inform, they activate. If something stirred deep in your spirit just now, you may be ready to receive the Chosen One's blueprint. This sacred guide reveals the 8 divine patterns behind your calling, your suffering, and your destiny. It also comes with the full audiobook, so you can absorb it during prayer, rest, or quiet moments with God. And for those called to speak His truth, you'll also receive Activating Your Prophet Mantle, a powerful bonus ebook for those carrying a prophetic assignment. The link is in the first pinned comment, but only for a limited time. Now, let's go deeper into what's actually happening to you. Because what you're experiencing isn't random. It isn't a fleeting illusion born from stress, or the phantom whispers of sleepless nights, or the wild fantasies of an overactive imagination. What you're sensing, what's subtly but undeniably shifting in your gaze, is a tangible echo of a profound transformation occurring in the unseen realms. It's the Spirit's subtle manifestation in the physical. The reason so many souls stumble through these moments, dismissing them, minimizing their significance, or rationalizing them away with logical explanations, is because they were never initiated into the understanding that spiritual awakening carries a physical signature. The divine spark, when it ignites and begins its ascent, does not remain confined to ethereal planes. It inevitably descends. It moves into the very vessel of your being. It begins to remodel the landscape of your face, and it undeniably alters the very essence of your gaze. And it is those who possess a deeper attunement, those who have cultivated eyes prepared to see beyond the veil, who will perceive these shifts long before you consciously register them yourself. This, my friends, is the invisible barrier, the subtle but formidable obstacle that has kept so many divinely appointed souls tethered to a reality far beneath the grandeur of their true calling. It's not rooted in personal sin, nor in the sting of past failures, nor solely in the relentless assaults of the adversary. It is, rather, the profound struggle to recognize and embrace the divine work unfolding within them in real time. You have been so deeply conditioned, so thoroughly molded by the external world, to expect transformation to be a post-event phenomenon. You've been taught to anticipate the miracle as something that will announce itself with fanfare on the outward stage first, leaving you to believe that the internal shift is yet to occur. In this waiting, you have inadvertently overlooked the irrefutable evidence already etched upon your very countenance. Consider the profound testament of Moses, when he descended from the awe-inspiring summit of Mount Sinai, having communed with the very essence of the Most High. The skin of his face radiated with a brilliance so potent, so otherworldly, that the people found themselves too intimidated, too overwhelmed to approach him. Astonishingly, Moses himself remained utterly unaware of this radiant metamorphosis. He had no premonition, no inkling that his very visage had been divinely touched. He didn't consciously feel it. He certainly didn't orchestrate it. This luminous transformation was the natural, organic effluence of having been immersed in the sacred, palpable presence of the eternal. What the onlookers witnessed was not Moses engaging in a performance. It was Moses, fundamentally and beautifully transformed. The exterior bore witness to the profound alterations that had occurred within, a testament to the moment his inner being had been irrevocably touched by something eternal and divine. And that, beloved, is precisely what is transpiring within you now. This is not something you have manufactured through sheer force of will, nor is it an achievement you can attain through mere performance. This is the unmistakable imprint of God's presence, His divine fingerprint being laid upon your very being, upon the windows to your soul, your eyes. It is a sign that a profound recalibration has occurred within the spirit, a shift so deep and resonant that the limitations of human language struggle to encapsulate its magnitude. But the significance of this divine recalibration extends far beyond its outward manifestation. For the subtle yet undeniable changes occurring in your eyes are not solely indicative of what is being wrought times within times you, but rather they signify your imminent preparation to times C. The eyes are not merely emitters of light or outward expression. They are profound receivers, conduits for perception, and the dawn of this awakened sight does not solely herald a new way in which others perceive you. More significantly, it empowers you to perceive the world through an entirely new lens. You begin to see beyond the superficial layers, to penetrate the carefully constructed facades people erect. You start to discern the raw performance, the calculated pretense, the intricate tapestries of lives woven out of a desperate attempt to shield themselves from their own pain. You begin to perceive the very spirit that animates behavior, the deep-seated wound festering beneath layers of anger, the divine assignment hidden within what appears to be a relentless attack. This elevated form of perception, while divinely gifted, is not inherently comfortable. It is, in the truest sense, a sacred burden that must be embraced before it can fully blossom into a radiant gift. This is the precipice where so many chosen souls find themselves in a state of suspended animation, stalled in their spiritual progression. For this nascent, expanded sight often precedes the dawning of commensurate strength. You begin to perceive truths and energies that you have not yet developed the spiritual capacity or emotional resilience to fully bear. You find yourself intuitively feeling the energetic weight of a room before you even step across its threshold. You sense the subtle currents of change rippling through relationships long before they become visibly apparent. You gain an innate knowing, not through the acquisition of external information, but through a profound resonance that originates from a stratum far deeper than conscious thought. And because this awakening has not been adequately explained or contextualized for you, you have, perhaps unknowingly, labeled these profound spiritual perceptions as mere anxiety, as the overthinking of a restless mind, or as the unfortunate byproduct of being overly sensitive. In reality, what you were experiencing was the nascent stirrings of spiritual discernment, arriving long before you possessed the necessary inner architecture to contain and interpret its profound insights. This brings us to a critical truth that remains largely undiscovered by the masses. The enemy of our souls does not tremble at the mere existence of your spiritual gifts. What truly unnerves him, what throws him into a strategic disarray, is your growing times awareness, times of those gifts. For a chosen one operating in an unconscious state, unaware of the divine power they wield, is a manageable entity. Such an individual can be easily swayed by distractions, easily discouraged by setbacks, and readily convinced that their intuitive senses are figments of imagination, that the truths they perceive are illusions, and that the unique frequencies they experience are inherent flaws rather than divine designations. However, The precise moment you consciously recognize the magnitude of your innate gifts, the very instant you cease to apologize for the authentic way in which you navigate and experience the world, the entire spiritual dynamic shifts. The intensity of the spiritual warfare may indeed escalate, but concurrently, your God-ordained authority will expand exponentially. Please, remain with me, for what is about to unfold is the pivotal insight, the missing key that holds the power to irrevocably break the cycles that have held you captive. That palpable intensity you've been experiencing recently, the peculiar distortion of time, the amplification of your emotional landscape, that persistent, undeniable sensation that reality itself is poised on the brink of a monumental shift. This is not indicative of a crisis. Rather, it is the powerful, undeniable force of a contraction. And you know, with an innate understanding, what contractions signify. They are the profound precursors to birth, the irrefutable signs that something new and miraculous is about to emerge. Every chosen soul navigates a specific season wherein the pressure to transform becomes almost unbearable. This is not a testament to divine abandonment, but rather a testament to God's active, powerful hand in propelling you from one evolutionary stage of your being into another. The sacred womb of preparation was never designed to be a permanent dwelling. The intensifying pressure is the divine confirmation that the appointed time for emergence has arrived. But I must gently challenge you with a subtle, often overlooked, spiritual trap that ensnares many during this critical season. It is the insidious allure of sacred comfort, the tendency to become so deeply entrenched in the familiar rhythms of preparation that we unconsciously resist the profound, liberating act of delivery. It is the state of having journeyed through the wilderness for so long that the very landscape of scarcity and testing begins to feel like home, a place of perceived safety. Recall the Israelites, so deeply conditioned by the familiar structure and perceived, though false, security of Egypt, that upon their miraculous liberation, they found themselves grieving for the very chains that had bound them, not because the chains themselves held any inherent value, but because the familiar, however oppressive, always exerts a more potent psychological pull than the unknown, even when that unknown represents the very promise of your God-ordained destiny. You have been called into a realm of purpose and potential that, as yet, lacks a definitive name within your current vocabulary. Your human mind, meticulously designed to operate within the confines of known parameters, will inevitably attempt to translate this new, unprecedented reality into the language and understanding of the previous season. But it will not align. It was never intended to fit. The divine unfolding that is occurring within you at this very moment transcends the established categories and definitions you have employed to structure your life thus far. It demands a new lexicon, a fresh spectrum of perception, and a profound willingness to relinquish the iteration of yourself that brought you to this juncture. For that particular version, while instrumental, lacks the capacity to carry you into the future that awaits. And it is here that we encounter a confrontational truth. Because the iteration of yourself that has sustained you thus far was constructed upon foundations that have perhaps remained unexamined. It was built from the bedrock of survival, the relentless drive to prove your worth, the exhausting performance of your value in environments that were never truly designed to acknowledge or embrace your authentic essence. Somewhere along your journey, this survival-driven identity became so deeply interwoven with your core sense of self that you began to reframe it. You began to label it as strength. You embraced it as resilience. You donned your capacity for endurance like a royal diadem. But here lies a truth that cuts with exquisite clarity. Some of what you have celebrated as strength is, in essence, fear, cloaked in the guise of divine fortitude. Some of what you have lauded as patience is, in reality, the subtle art of avoidance. And some of what you have hailed as wisdom is simply the profound refusal to step into a destiny that would necessitate your complete and unvarnished visibility. And what is about to be revealed in the coming moments, this final illuminating layer of understanding, is the truth that will either catalyze your complete liberation or cause you to disengage from this message, retreating back into the familiar. I implore you, remain present. The transformation you observe in your eyes is a direct reflection of the dissolution of the constructed self, not the eternal soul, not the divine calling that resides within you, not the unshakable love that God infused into your being before you were even formed in the silent chambers of the womb. No, it is the meticulously crafted persona, the self that was architected within the harsh crucibles of rejection, educated in the demanding universities of profound disappointment, and forged through the extended curriculum of being overlooked and unchosen by those whose validation you deeply craved. That carefully constructed self is now undergoing a profound process of dissolution, and this disintegration, this shedding of layers, feels like loss because, on a fundamental level, it is indeed a loss. But what is being lost was never the authentic you. It was the spiritual armor, the protective mask, the energetically managed presentation of a soul desperately striving for acceptance within a world that was never truly intended to be your ultimate audience. Your ultimate audience, the only one whose opinion truly matters, has always been the eternal Creator who meticulously formed you. And what he perceives when his loving gaze rests upon you, right now, in this very instant, amidst the unfinished chapters and unfolding narrative of your life, he does not see your perceived weaknesses. He sees the finished, perfected version of you. He sees the divine potential that he meticulously placed within you before the clamor and influence of the external world ever had the opportunity to touch or alter its purity. And your eyes, those sacred windows to your soul, are beginning to mirror this divine perspective. This is not because you have somehow arrived at a destination, nor because the profound work within you is complete. It is because a fundamental agreement has shifted. It is because a deep inner surrender has occurred, a release from the exhausting need for validation and understanding from those who were never divinely assigned to comprehend the totality of your being. And here lies an unexpected, paradigm-shifting truth. The primary impediment to your complete and radiant awakening is not your past trauma, nor the individuals who have departed from your life, nor the seasons that have felt like an agonizing waste of precious time. The most significant block is the unacknowledged grief you have carried, the sorrow you have suppressed over the essential parts of yourself that you were compelled to sacrifice simply to survive. There exists a profound, sacred, and utterly necessary mourning that must take place. A deep spiritual grief for every iteration of yourself that you immolated upon the altar of other people's comfort and expectations. For every dream you silenced because a critical gaze met yours with doubt. For every truth you swallowed because the surrounding environment felt too precarious to safely contain its raw power. This profound grief is not a sign of weakness. It is the very doorway to your liberation. And on the other side of this holy catharsis lies the authentic you that God has been patiently yearning to encounter. Tonight, before you surrender to sleep, embrace these words as a sacred affirmation, speaking them with all the conviction of your spirit over yourself. I release every version of myself that was constructed for mere survival rather than for the unfolding of my divine destiny. I deeply grieve what has been lost, and I willingly release what was never meant for me to carry. I decisively break any and all agreements with every limiting label that has been placed upon me by those who were incapable of perceiving the profound truth that heaven sees within me. My eyes are now opening, not merely to the external world around me, but to the undeniable, glorious truth of my inherent identity. I am not lagging behind. I am not irrevocably broken. I am currently immersed in the most sacred, transformative transition of my entire existence, and I consciously choose to surrender to and trust this divine process, even when the ultimate destination remains veiled from my sight. My awakening is not a future event, it is the present reality unfolding within me, and I step forward with unwavering resolve. My eyes wide open, my spirit vibrantly alive, and my being fully and irrevocably chosen by the one whose perspective is the only one that was ever truly meant to matter. If this profound message has resonated with a truth that your spirit already held, please consider sharing this revelation with another soul who is in need of hearing it. Take a moment to leave a comment below and share with me, what did your eyes perceive in this sacred moment that they were previously unable to see? I personally read every single comment, and I eagerly anticipate our next profound revelation together.